This podcast is produced and managed by Kangaroo Fern Media Lab, Australia's independent video and podcast company. We do the podcasting hard bits so you don't have to. We make podcasts easy. Book a call at www.kangaroofern.com. www.kangaroofern.com.
Today, friends, it's going to be an interesting episode because we're going to talk about the misunderstood side of being a creative person. You are listening to episode 9 of Wellness Friday with Coach Joy Karen.
Let's talk well-being and mental health. Whether you're an aspiring coach, content creator, or podcaster, you need to take care of yourself as well. Wellness Friday with Coach Joy Karen.
What's up, pod friends? I'm Joy Karen, here once again, your creativity coach. Wellness Friday is a weekly show created for podcasters and content creators. This show aims to talk about creativity, inspiration, and overall well-being so you can keep doing what you love most. First, let me thank my podcast management group, Miko of Kangaroo Fern Media Lab, and your amazing team for this beautiful platform and for the opportunity to spread the spark of creativity all over. So more and more people will do what they love most as they hashtag sparkle within. What comes into mind when you describe a creative person? Maybe you could think of imaginative, playful, passionate, intuitive, open to experience, flexible, a lot of good things, right? But as a creative person, I also have been labeled these things: fickle-minded, unconformist, emotional, chaotic, unfocused, and most times paradoxical, like a walking contradiction. But over the years, as I get acquainted with my complexities and personal paradoxes, I must admit it was a quite a very difficult time to fit in at first. And in doing what I do as a creative person, I started noticing how hard I was on myself when I was starting out my journey. Don't get me wrong, guys. I love what I do as a coach. I love what I do as a podcaster, a mentor, and many other roles. Unfortunately, there are waves of negative emotions that are simply part of the sea of life. Instead of fighting it, I am learning to surf through the waves, and in case I get whiplashed again and again, I take rest. I stop. I pause. I breathe. Then gather myself and do it over again. That is the creative person's journey. That's life for us as creative people. Being messy, chaotic, and contradictory is an inevitable part of it. And these negative feelings are simply just the way that life is. Like spices, right? It's what makes things authentic and raw and meaningful and purposeful. Many creatives wish to have one path. Well, an easy route, if that's available in the creative journey, but it never is. And I think it never will be. There never will be that one path. But what's within our control is how we build our flexibility in managing the emotions, the conflicts and tensions that comes along with it. Speaking of contradictions, I'm sure that you have met or heard about the research or the proposal of this American Hungarian psychologist that said that creative people possess personal contradictions that work together in a complex manner that affects the creative process. And he's also the one who coined the term flow. He's Csikszentmihalyi. And I think they must have been he must have been influenced by Nietzsche, who said one must have chaos in oneself to be able to give birth to a dancing star. What a beautiful quotation. And as pretty as it may sound coming from Nietzsche, it takes a hell lot of toil, sweat, and tears to give birth to that star. But if you come to think about it, the best creations or inventions and ideas come from inconvenience or as any state that seemed uncomfortable or unfavorable. As creatives, we must understand and accept that our personality traits are meant to work for us and not against us. So, whatever feeling of chaos, confusion, or messiness, resisting it is not really the way to go. And being creatives, learning to make our internal contradictions as our tools for creation makes the creative journey more fulfilling.
We will be right back.
Are you passionate to help other podcasters? Wanted to connect to growth minded podcasters and service providers? The Podcast Creators Society is now open for new member. Head over to www.podcastcreatorsociety.com/community. Are you ready to finally start your own podcast? Maybe you already have one, but need a podcast manager to help you level up. We're here for either. Book a call at www.kangaroofern.com www.kangaroofern.com.
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. Now, back to the show.
As a creativity coach, I've often encountered a lot of people, myself included, that had phases where they felt really bad about themselves because they did not fit into what society seemed to require them to be. Culture plays a lot and has a huge, very, very big influence on how we think about ourselves. If we are brought up in a culture that embraces and cultivates or permits creative pursuits, that most often than not doesn't fit most careers or jobs out there. Well, in my own opinion, and hopefully in my own wishful thinking, this type of upbringing will help us speed through achieving our full creative potential. So, as creatives, what we can do is to give ourselves the permission that we have been craving for. In our journey, and in my personal journey, I struggled about being so energetic that I confused the term as the opposite, or I confused the term energetic with the opposite of being focused. So if if I am energetic, I am not focused. Growing up, I knew I was a ball of energy. I couldn't stop talking, dancing, or singing. And if ever I did stop, my eyes or attention will wander around. And this got me in trouble at school. I often got scolded by teachers for not paying much attention. But ever since I was young, I knew I did pay attention. I knew I did, not just in the way that they thought I should. I must admit it placed a dent in my personality. For quite a big part of my young adulthood, I try so hard to curb my energy to fit in, to curb my enthusiasm and to basically tone down my fascination about many things. It felt like I was policing myself all the time whenever I felt that my mind wanders. It helped it helped at some point, but I did it rebelliously and most times unmindfully. I did it without fully understanding what it is it for and why I should do it, why it should be like that. Now, being a better version of myself, older and wiser, I learned how to heal from that experience and to liberate myself from the negative narrative that I've formed in my mind. I embrace my energetic self now more than ever. my energetic self that is easily excited with rapid fire ideas and unwavering passion. I also embrace the opposite side of that, which helps me rest and recharge. There is less of the internal struggle of which one I should be. If I should be energetic, or I should be focused, or basically just choosing one of the two. Because now I truly understand and very, very greatly appreciate that I understand and acknowledge that I can be both. So, pod friends, make time to get to know more about yourself. Discover how your creative process flows. Define it according to your own understanding. This is the permission you might have been waiting for. That's it for today, pod friends, and I hope this episode sparked something awesome in you. If you'd like to listen to more of Wellness Friday with Coach Joy Karen, don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to connect, you can join me or find me on Facebook. Just search Joy Karen, the Creativity Coach. This conversation doesn't end here because it continues over at the Podcast Creator Society. The link is on the description. The Podcast Creator Society is a group of podcasters helping other podcasters because this platform of podcasting is such a wonderful space, and we need to help each other so we can reach more people to send that message across. And for those who are interested, we also have the Podcast Freelancers Hub. If you feel that this episode is worth sharing, please do so. It will help us reach more podcasters and content creators who might be needing that spark of inspiration, creativity, and overall well-being. Okay, again, thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next week. But before I go, let me remind you to keep on doing what you love most. That is how. Use hashtag Sparkle with it. Bye, everyone.
Are you ready to finally start your own podcast? Maybe you already have one, but need a podcast manager to help you level up. We're here for either. Book a call at www.kangaroofern.com www.kangaroofern.com